Let's see. That's not too bad. Seem bored. Hi, everybody. I'm Mr. Bollinger. I usually go by Mr. V in the classroom, and I'm making this video to welcome you to your first semester of study this fall. I'm excited. I'm very excited to get started. Looking forward to getting to know all of you, even with the mask on. All right. Getting up there a little bit in age, so be patient with me to learn how to pronounce your names. I'll do my best, but my short-term memory isn't what it used to be. So it's going to take me a little while, especially with a couple of classes and a couple of thousand students' names from past years of study. So this is pre-calculus welcoming, I guess, huh? I've got an A block and a D block, and I hope to keep the classes somewhat together. Just might make things a little easier. So I put some notes on the board so I hopefully can remember all the things I want to say. And what have we got here? Oh yeah, goals for the class. I'm hoping to teach you how to think mathematically. Okay, and that to me means that first prerequisite to it is that you bring a sense of curiosity to what we're about to study. And thinking mathematically to me is the ability to analyze a problem and construct some symbolic calculations that will help you do so. This is a discipline. It's still evolving. It's based on geometric principles. And I hope that you gain an appreciation for the foundation upon which this discipline rests. It's taken me a lot of years to see the simplicity of principles that govern the study. And so I hope that you can gain some of that appreciation. I also hope that you get a strong enough foundation that if you decide to pursue some sort of study that is built upon mathematics, that you have the choice to do so. And you certainly don't have to go in that direction to have a good experience here. But at the end of the semester, I hope you can look back and go, wow, I learned something. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? We've got pre-calculus. Sure sounds like it's getting you ready for calculus. And what's calculus? Calculus is the study of rates to amounts and amounts to rates. Well, most people drop out of calculus because their foundation isn't strong enough to be able to support growth in understanding. If you're going to look at areas under curves, you got to be able to graph the curves. If you're going to understand what that area represents, you got to understand what the rate function represents. In other words, your understanding has to be stronger than short term for a test. All right, and that's what I think is behind the fact that people can't continue in this discipline, is that you do a little bit of study for a week's time on a particular topic, you take the test, and then you move away from it. The next year, somebody brings up the topic again, and for a different aspect of study, you go, oh, I haven't done that in a year. Well, I'm sorry. The ability to continue in this discipline requires that what you've learned, you've really learned. And in order to do that, I'm a firm believer in repetition. And I think it has a lot to do with neuroplasticity, connecting pathways in the brain that allow you to process things more quickly. So thinking mathematically is about seeing patterns, and you can't see patterns unless you're comparing and contrasting one algorithm to another. So I've switched to an holistic approach to the study. That happened in 1993 for me. I was building up to it until that point. But I remember in 1993 at the end of the semester, it wasn't semester, we had a full year of study, 45-minute classes, I believe. I had a final exam that I was very disappointed in. Scores were no different than my colleagues, but it's terrible. And students coming out of Algebra 2 couldn't write the equation of a line. And so I sat down and I said to myself, if this is the best I can do, I retire or I change what I'm doing. So I opened up the window, I threw out the textbook, and I said, I'm going to do the equation of a line every day for 30 seconds, every single day. Since 1993, I don't think I've had a student who can't write the equation of a line correctly. And not only that, as we started repeating and repeating and repeating different topics, a lot of insights occurred. So I'm going to try to give you that experience. You're all coming in at different levels of ability, but this class is based on repetition, and our repetition will be a lot of worksheets, but I am going to throw a lot of material at you quickly. And the reason I'm going to do that is to give you as long as possible to learn as many things as possible. Now, obviously, at some point, I have to stop that process so you can integrate sufficiently to have had a good experience. All right, and that's my job, to keep an eye on you that way. But initially, some of you are going to feel a little overwhelmed. And I understand that. I've been through that experience myself with a Spanish course down in Mexico years ago. The teacher taught the same way. There was a point where I went, I can't do this anymore. Too much. And then it was explained to me, and I went, oh yeah, that's what I do. And I had a good learning experience when it was all over. So there are students in this classroom who've had me before. I'll identify them for you. So if your anxiety level rises a little bit, I'll point you in their direction, and they can explain to you how this process works. Okay? Homework. Get a worksheet. But the difference this year is I'm going to make a video where I do all of the problems for you. And so if you really want to make some gains, you look at the video, you pause it, you try the problem on your own, and then you play the video and you find out, oh yeah, I did it the same way. But hopefully in the videos, I can continue to layer some understanding, geometric, numerical, graphical, whatever, just commentary. And the more times we talk about something, the simpler it's going to get. Okay? So what's my definition of simplicity in the mathematical sense? Well, 2 + 2 = 4. Which way is it simpler to say? Do you go into the store and say, hey, I'd like to buy 2 + 2 candy bars? Or do you go in and say, hey, I want 4 candy bars? Obviously, you would say 4 candy bars. So what's my definition of simplicity? Whatever it takes, the less number of pen strokes to write. Okay, 2 + 2 takes 3 strokes of the pen. The number 4 takes 1. We're going to use the 1 stroke of the pen. Okay? So yeah, so I'm going to teach holistically. It takes a little bit of time to experience the fruits of that. You know, I have a rule of 4. If it's a difficult math concept, then I think it sometimes takes 4 days to have it start to make some sense. Okay, and once it does, you know, that's the first stage of learning, be able to follow. Second stage is be able to do a problem yourself. You know, so if we tackle something in that domain, oh, I'm having a little success. And the third stage, explaining it to someone else. Okay, and that's what our workshop format's going to be. I'll just pan the classroom for you. We got a great setup here. You know, I was wondering how the heck we were going to do our group work given a typical classroom. Well, we're not in a typical classroom. All right, so here, you see some of my notes on the board, which I'm not looking at much anymore because I find that I stop talking when that happens. Okay, and now watch this. I'm panning all the way around. We've got some boards there that move around the room. This goes down the other end. Look how far it goes. There's another big white board down there and all these whiteboards. So we got a lot of chance to do the COVID two-step, you know, where somebody's at the board, somebody's 6 feet behind them. I'm going to still get to be able to walk around the room. Wow, I am thrilled. Okay, and if somebody understands how to do a problem, I don't see any reason why we can't move somebody into that location. Other people step back a little bit, and somebody else, a student, gets to give an explanation. Because as I said, third stage of learning is explaining something to someone else. And so I hope that in this workshop setting, we're going to develop some good citizenship. You know, we're in this time of turmoil, we're going to get to help each other out. And sometimes you need help, sometimes you give help. So I hope everybody's willing to be in that kind of mental mood. All right. And I am so excited to get started. I don't want to duck anything that happens internationally or in the news. If we need to talk about something, we'll take the time to take a moment, talk about it and try to process what's going on in the world. If somebody's really struggling with all of the things that are going on, I hope you can approach me and let me talk with you. Okay? Or some other adult in the community, or some friend in the community. Try not to hibernate. But when we come in here, I'm hoping that we'll have a good hour, hour and a half of just learning and appreciating what has taken years and years to develop. This is a study that has evolved, and we'll try to follow some of the history of it as to how we do things the way we do them. Okay, so I'm real excited to get started. Let me think if I just not talked about anything. Yeah, I guess grading. I know everybody's worried about their grades. I have to grade you at midterm, and I have to grade you at the end of the term. All right, I grade more like an English teacher than I do percentage scores as a math teacher. I want to give you as long as possible to show me how much you've learned by midterm, and same experience at the end of the term. Okay, so periodically, given that we're a trimester, probably going to once a week throw something at you so I can keep an idea of, the first test that I usually give is after about 2 weeks, and the results are pretty standard. Even though there's a review, past material, it basically shows that people learned for a test and really didn't learn something, and the scores aren't all that great. But whatever that first score is, I'm looking for another 5 or 10 problems right if I test a week later, which means that, you pick some things up. And I want that to continue right through midterm. And it's a learning process, so it's not a final. Everything is a final exam when I give a test. The question is, out of that final exam, how many problems have you picked up? Well, effortless effort takes effort. That's what I put on every test, which means that this is all about learning from your mistakes. This is all about thinking about something that you got wrong the day before, giving it some thought, trying it again, still don't have it, come back the next day, think about it, try it again, still don't have it, come back. You keep doing that. And I promise you, if you do that, if you engage with the material that way, you will surprise yourself. I got 40 years of math experience here teaching. I know what I'm talking about. All right. And I'm also the math help person. I'm on Monday nights and Wednesday nights, and love seeing people from my classes come in, and OV and Beveridge, 233. So you can always come in and get some extra help. I guess the sign-up process is a little different. I wish my math help class was right here in this room. Ooh, boy, would I like that. This is the best room I've had for teaching math since I've been here. I was concerned. I didn't know what it was going to look like. That's excellent for what we're going to do. So real excited about that. Let me see if there's something that I've got some notes here. Let me just give me a moment. So I talked about repetition, homework, mentioned the homework, citizenship, being kind to one another, my rule of 4. Yeah, I think I talked about that. Yeah, let me just mention a little bit more about repetition. So it dawned on me, just 2 weeks ago, that every topic that I teach, it never fails that I stick with it and something changes. So here's a review question, just to give you a jump on something that we're going to look at a quadratic right now. We're going to put it in, we're going to sketch it. We're going to put it in graphing form. We're going to find the roots. We're going to check the roots, see if they make sense, see if they work. And my goal for you is that you can do all of that in 60 seconds. Imagine that. All right, then we're going to put it all together in one little package. And I've only tried this, twice. My son's a math teacher at Rectory, and I said, Maddie, this is where I think we should be going. So I'll do one right now. I may not be able to do it in 60 seconds, but I guarantee a couple of weeks from now I will. And I'm talking to you, so I might make some mistakes. But, well, hopefully not. But I'm willing to take that chance. And I hope you're willing to take that chance at the board. So I'm going to put something on the board. And, we're going to have a chat to get to know each other day one. So how much time are we going to have for math? We got an hour's class. I don't know. But maybe we'll tackle this that day so we can put quadratics, in a column that goes, oh, yeah, I got a bunch of that already down pat. All right, so I'm just going to make something up on the fly. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. And this is just mechanics now. I'm only going to do something mechanically. And we're going to have, once we get the mechanics down, I'm going to support it with videos as to the geometric principles behind what I'm talking about, where I'm getting the shortcuts I'm talking about, What are the patterns inherent in this problem? We're going to talk about that, and we're going to have the entire semester to do it, okay? Because once it's presented, then we got the rest of the time to talk about why it works. All right, so I don't know how far from the board I am, how this is going to come out, how big I have to write. I guess you can always, with technology, change things. So let's say we start with y equals minus 3x squared plus 30x. What do we want to do with that? How about plus 50? Okay, so right now, I don't know if I have imaginary roots, real roots. I don't know what this looks like. So I guess I want to see what it looks like. So I got a y-intercept of 50. 0 gets me 50. I know that I'm going up at 30 to 1 at that instant, and it's cup-shaped down, so I know it looks like that. I know that 3 goes into 30, 10 cut in half is 5. 5 into 30 is 150, cut in half 75, plus 50 is 125. Whew. Boy, I got the vertex. I know 0 is down here somewhere. I said we're going to find the roots. So I know I got to go down 125. So my roots are x's equal, well, the center is at 5. I know I'm going to go plus or minus. I got to go down 125, and I know that I'm going to divide by 5. Oh, so it looks like, so let's see. So I'm sorry, it's minus 3 here that I haven't done this. So minus 3. All right, that's what you're going to divide by. You see, I haven't done it enough. I've been doing it this way for 2 weeks. And I've only done it 3 times. I'll learn from that. So what else did I say we're going to do? I forgot. But we got the vertex, we got the graph. We know we've got some real roots here, some real roots there. Okay, and yeah, negative into negative makes positive. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 5 is 8, so you can't really simplify this without rationalization. We'll probably rationalize that and then check those answers to see if we get back to this. Okay, just a general type of process. Now, first time you see that, you might go, what the heck do you do, right? And I don't worry about that day 1, because I'm going to do it the rest of the semester. And we're going to break it down. And I'm going to give you the time to understand what happened. Okay, your job is to not get anxious and allow that thought process to seep in. Okay, so I hope I gave you a little sense of what this class is going to be like. And I'm still looking around to see if there's anything that I forgot to say that I wanted to say. I'm sure there are, but that's the nice thing about repetition. If I forgot to say it, I'll say it tomorrow. I'll leave the classroom and I'll go, oh, I meant to say that. Make a little note, come back and address it. Okay, so we got about 16 people in class, both A block and D block. And homeworks, again, I'm going to be doing a video, but you know, you might want to just do some Zooming with each other at night, do your homeworks together, then play the video and maybe talk about the problems, help each other out. Certainly, as we move forward, I want to encourage as much group work as possible. I think it's essential to learn how to move up the ladder in this discipline. You know, somebody says something, right? I've got a graphing form for cubics. I don't think it's out there other than, you know, some work I did with a colleague. I never would have done that work. You know, he talked about minus b over 3a and resonated with me because minus b over 2a, and all of a sudden stimulated a whole lot of thought process. And you know, I got a lot to share with you about that one little comment he made and where it took me. And we'll talk about that during the course of the semester. All right, so I'm rambling a little bit, but that's okay. I won't be talking so much in class. Once we put stuff on the board, I want you to do the work. Okay? I want you to do the exploration. I want you to become mathematicians rather than study math. Have something on the board and go, is there a way that I can do this? Can I sort this out? Okay, so it'll be a lot of videos this year. That's new for me. A lot of technological challenges with Canvas. You'll be patient with me. I'm an old son of a gun here. It's going to take a little while for me to learn some of that. But I hope to share with you some of the experience I've had with this discipline and move you along your way up the ladder to have some success. All right, so as I said, I'm excited to meet you. I want to get started with this. I'm going to stop this recording now, and looking forward to finally having you in the classroom. So everybody take care, and we'll eventually meet in person, face-to-face in a couple of weeks, and can't wait. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.